Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Jashaydee. In today's video, I'm excited because we are doing a makeup declutter. This video is so overdue, like not even as like a video for my YouTube channel, but just in my personal general life. Like I feel like so much of my makeup, it's old. Like if not old, like it's not like I was using it while it was old. It's just one of those things where like I really just had it like stored away, never really reached for it. A lot of the makeup that I've accrued, I accumulated a lot of it because I used to work at Ulta, and I started working at Ulta in 2015 when I was like 19 turning 20, and I used to get like a discount off of makeup. You guys know I was working for them as well like this year or last year when I was pregnant while I was in esthetician school. And yeah, so I accumulated more even then. Recently I got some new furniture and I have just been in this little kick. I don't know if it's like the new mom in me or what it is, but I'm in the mood to organize. I'm in the mood to go through things and just let it go. I feel like I'm that girl. I'm not a hoarder, but at the same time I always find like an excuse to keep something when I don't need it. If I haven't used it, it's gotta go. If it's expired, it's gotta go. I'm not gonna hold you guys up. I will talk to you guys in the video. My baby's sleeping, so I have to use my time wisely. But like I said, I want to organize right now so that I can then either get on Amazon or even go to Target and get like organization inserts for my desk and just for like the area that I'm gonna call my beauty area when I decide on what that area is, because like I said, I got some new furniture and I'm just trying to get it together. It is 2022 and I do not need more makeup than one needs. Like I use the same things all the time. I don't think my makeup collection is like super large in any way. It is bigger than some, but I've seen way bigger. So this is just my personal collection that we are decluttering. And some of this stuff, I'm so embarrassed. You guys are gonna be like, damn girl, you still got that old ass palette. But it is what it is. We're gonna get through it. So anyways, without further ado, if you're new here, hey, welcome. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's jump into it. Okay, so first things first, I need to mute Jane the Virgin because I am watching this for the third or fourth time. So I have quite a few things laid out on the floor around me right now. Yeah, there is so much stuff that needs to go. I hope that I'm not forgetting anything. I don't think I am. Okay, where do I get started? I think the thing that I have the least of is palettes. First things first, I have two of the Too Faced Sweet Peach palettes. If you know, you know, these were so popular back in the day. I have one that I didn't even touch. It's just one of those palettes that like, it was so good when it came out, but I have not touched this in years, like 3 years probably. I haven't touched this, so it's gotta go. Next I have this Bare Minerals Sensuals palette, and this is a, look at this, I still have the plastic in this palette. This is probably another palette that I got gratis when I worked at Ulta. Like this on the back doesn't even have like the date of like expiration. The next three palettes that I have are these Makeup Revolution palettes. This one is one that I don't think I've ever even used. This one, again, another palette that's literally untouched, so I'm gonna give this palette to my sister. This one I did use. I don't remember if I did a video using this palette on my channel, but it's something that I literally don't reach for. And this one I know for a fact I did like a YouTube video for, and this is before reels were reels on Instagram. I actually did like a little mini like 1-minute tutorial using this and I loved it, but these are not really like shades that I gravitate to. As far as this palette is concerned, I really do love that it has so many like earthy toned colors in it. I honestly, am I keeping this? I'm actually gonna hold on to this. You know why? Because I don't have anything that looks like this. I really need to clean this, but I don't have anything that looks like this, so I'm actually gonna hang on to this. This Kylie Jenner, the Bronze palette. I don't know if this was the first palette that she released, but I'm almost certain that it is. This palette I have legit had probably since my Damn, Kylie Cosmetics has been out for quite a while. So I've probably had this since 2015 or 2016. And it's just something that I loved on. I use this religiously. and it's so dirty, and it's one of those things where I think I'm going to keep it just for memories. Do not judge me, but I am going to hang on to this. It just has those tones in it that I'm always going to gravitate towards. I probably will never use this again because I'm sure it's hella expired, but stop. This is like memories. So this next palette is a Z palette. I think I got this from Morphe or Z palette, like their own brand. I forget. That's how long I've been out of like the makeup game, if you will, because I forget where I got this from. I want to say I got this at IMATS the one year when I went ham sandwich in the Morphe section, but these are just some individual shadows. These are all Morphe shadows, I'm almost certain. I stuck these in here myself, like I made it a magnet myself. So I don't know where I got these from. I've had this Z palette that long that I just don't know where it's from. These I do want to hang on to, and obviously I'm going to hang on to the actual palette itself. But these, they gotta go. Here is another palette that I got for gratis while I worked at Ulta. This is the Naked Urban Decay Heat palette, and I might have used this once or twice. I do always take my brushes out and I keep it like on the side with my other brushes. I probably used this once or twice and probably never really touched it again. This is definitely up my alley though. I think I'm gonna hang on to this, and the reason why I'm gonna hang on to this is the only Naked palette that I own, and I was not that person that like went crazy over like the Naked 1, Naked 2. Those were just never my shades. So then when they came out with this like warm like colorway, I was like, okay, this is the palette I have to have from them, because other than this palette, there's really nothing like from them that I really gravitate towards. There was a palette that I loved from them. I didn't buy it though. It was like a graffiti outside, I forget. Oh my goodness, this palette is so dusty, but if you know, you know. This is the Morphe 35T palette, and as you can tell, this was probably something that I bought at like from Morphe, because this is before they were inside of Ulta or anything. There's some shimmers in this palette, there's mattes in this palette. It's very sultry of a palette. I was obsessed with this when I first got it. I've had this forever. It is so dusty, dingy. It has to go because I haven't used this in so long, and I know for a fact this is expired, so it has to go. So next up I have another Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 35N palette, and this is a very, I don't know, it says like a neutral palette, but I dipped into this quite a few times. It has some pinks in it. You have some neutral shades up here. I definitely got some really good use out of, but I haven't used this in years, like literal years. I don't know if you could tell by the amount of markings on this palette, but she was used and abused. This is one of those, if you know, you know, like you just had to be there. Oh, this is the Morphe 35O palette. This is the original one. You can see I have like setting powder in here, or maybe that's like one of these shades popping in over here. She was used and abused in my collection. I lived on this side of this palette. Like this right here was me all day long. I almost feel like I'm going to keep this for sentimental value. I know I keep saying that I shouldn't be keeping anything for sentimental value, but this palette was that girl. Okay, I think I'm going to keep her. I probably will never use her again, but I'm going to keep her for sentimental value. Next, I have the Carly Bible MBH Cosmetic palette. I remember I stayed up until, or maybe I didn't stay up late, but I got up hella early to get this palette because I think it went live at like 7 a.m. This was her original first collab that she did with BH, and I remember getting this, and at first I was like really annoyed because I am not like a pinky toned kind of girl, and I felt like some of these shades, they didn't look ashy, but they were definitely not as warm as what I normally go for, like me personally. This is one of the first palettes that I bought with like my own money, that I had a job that I could buy, and it was like $14. I remember I had mail, and I was like, oh baby, I have a palette coming in the mail. Like I have to hang on to this just for memory purposes, because I definitely don't reach for this. For a second I was like, yeah, we're getting somewhere, and then I was like, wait, we still have all of this to go through. So like all of these drawers just literally have like, girl, What? For what? What's the reason? What is the reason? I actually found this palette at TJ Maxx, I think, and this is called the Royal Affairs palette, and I used this like once or twice. I probably didn't, you know, dive into it all that much, but I probably used it in a video on my channel. I'm almost certain I did. The next two palettes that I have are both from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection, and these, you guys know, were like a really big hit when they first launched. I specifically remember using this one, and I remember that I did not, like, I was not a fan of the formula. I forget if these got a good review or a bad review. Obviously you can tell like the shades are really pretty, but I just felt like they were a little bit more on the drier side, like not chalky, just dry. So these are just two items that I need to get rid of. No need in keeping them because I didn't really use them. I wasn't like a fan of the formula. You guys are gonna notice I'm sort of gonna like start to turn a little bit because I'm trying to use as much natural daylight as I can. So I'm gonna have to speed it up a little bit. The palettes that are left in this bin, I'm keeping all of them. They are, for me, almost like collector's items that I feel like I just cannot part ways with. So I'm gonna be quick about it because these are all great palettes. This is again another Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, but this is the 35 Dream Colors palette. If you know, you know, she's that girl. When this palette came out, I remember everyone wanted this palette, and it's just one of those palettes that it has like every shade that you can think of for the most part. This is staying. I do have two more palettes I want to show you, and those two are these. Here I have the Tartelette and Bloom palette, and then I also have the original Tartelette palette. Cool toned, neutral. This was not even like up my alley as far as colors were concerned, but when these first came out, you had to have the Tartelette, you had to have the Tartelette and Bloom. I feel like Tartelette and Bloom got me through my every single day makeup phase when I used to do like wing liner, crazy lashes every day. Like I used to use this like nobody's business. These are so old, they have to go. I don't reach for them, so they've got to go. Stop. This palette is so old, to the point where like this palette is so old, like the front of it is not even the white that it used to be. This is the Becca Jaclyn Hill palette. I broke the pan on one of these and I messed up the highlighter, but you guys remember this palette, you know. This is one of those that I had, collector's item, it needs to go. Becca is no longer a brand, so that is unfortunate, but that palette has to go. Now I think I want to, oh, I have two more palettes, three. Let me see. Next I have this ColourPop Nude Mood palette. I feel like if you're someone who loves nudes, this is right up your alley, and it has like just the prettiest of highlights in it. I've used it like once or twice, but it's one of those ones that's like, it's one of those palettes I just can't let go, so I am gonna hang on to this one. These next two palettes are little quads. So this one is from Wet n Wild, and I got this a long time ago, I think at like Walmart or something, and I only keep this palette literally for the black shade down here. I honestly also bought it because I thought like the little rivets of the rose was really pretty. This is called House of Thorns. I don't need this. I have not reached for this. I think the burgundy right here though is such a pretty shade, so I might keep it just for that reason. But I don't need this. I don't need it. I can give it to my sister. This is another palette that I am not hanging on to. This is from Lime Crime, and this is called the Plushies palette. I also got this at like a TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something. And I remember doing a video using this on my palette years ago, and that's probably the last time that I used this palette, so it needs to go. Okay, so next I'm jumping into lipsticks, lip glosses, stuff like that. I have so many liquid lipsticks that they need to go. I don't even wear liquid lipstick anymore, so they need to go. First of all, one does not need this many nudes. As you can see, I have not been in this drawer in a while. These are old AF ColourPop lipsticks that they just all have to go. I'm gonna drop them all right here on the ground, and then I'm going to, you know, just see what I have, because I probably haven't even opened this lipstick drawer in so long. Look how dirty this is. This is gross. Some of these ColourPop lipsticks are OG lipsticks. Like, if you know, you know. For example, I know you guys remember the I Love Saraí ColourPop collab. This was such a pretty color. This is another I Love Saraí collab. And for a long time, I also had the Carucci collaboration. If you guys know, you know. The same time that palette came out that I showed you guys, these also came out. I think I have all 3 of the original shades. Exposed, Dulce K, and this is Kylie right here. I think Kylie is a little bit newer to my collection. Like, these are so old. These are originally from like 2016. They're gross. They gotta go. I also have this one here. This one is Candy K, but I added Candy K to my collection like recently, so this Candy K is gonna stay, but the other 3 gotta go. Candy K is staying. This is another one that, like, if you were there, like, you had to be there. Cool Girl from Too Faced, bitch, you had to be there. This was the nude of nudes. This is Lime Crime Cashmere, another nude, has to go. This shade is from Urban Decay, and this is the shade Naked 2. This is one of those lipsticks I used to always keep like in my purse, and when I would go to work, I used to love this one so much. They gotta go. I'm just pairing these 2 together because they look very similar. I have the NARS Orgasm lip gloss. It is separating. She's expired. She needs to go. This was my jam. In between working for Ulta, I also worked for Julep, and when I tell you that this gloss in the shade Low Key was my jam. I used to have all of the NYX lip lingeries, like all of the matte liquid lipsticks. I had all of them in like the little small tiny sizes, and I got rid of them all like over a year ago, but I got them in like a Christmas collection type of thing. This is the only one that I bought like full size, and this was Corset. I don't wear shades like this anymore either, so they've got to go. I don't know what it is about Anastasia lipsticks, but I feel like the shades that I do have in them, I used to have like little ones as well that I got in like Christmas gift sets, but I threw those away, and these were just not one of my dog's hair. I'm gonna hang on to these guys. These are just like some holy grail tried and trues, and I have sentimental love for them. I don't know if it's because I worked hard to buy these. Like, these are like $22, and I just feel like I'm holding $100 in my hand. Like, some things I just cannot let go of, and you can see my green dots on the bottom because I bought some of these when I still worked for Ulta. You can tell like some of them are newer, some of them are older because of the lid. They changed packaging, so yeah. I have these 2 Kylie glosses that I am going to hold on to. I believe I got these last year, and I don't reach for them a lot, but I still, like, now that I'm looking at them again, I realize that I can still get some use out of them. So I'm going to hang on to those. These are 2 of the little lip glosses that I mentioned that I have from Anastasia that I said, like, I got rid of, like, a lot of these little guys a while ago. So this one I'm going to give to my sister. This one I'm going to get rid of because I think I've had it for a while. Here I have this e.l.f. Peach Bellini. If you know, you know. Here we have Dose of Colors Sand. Again, if you know, you know, like, you had to be there. And then I also have this little chubby stick from Clinique that I haven't used in forever. This is in Heaping Hazelnut. This is literally like a gloss in like a chubby stick form if you're into that type of thing, but I've had it for a while, so gotta let it go. You guys know the soft matte lip creams from NYX are a favorite. They've always been a favorite. I also have this lip gloss here in the shade Praline. I have London, Cairo. I'm just gonna buy new ones of these guys. I'm gonna keep the Praline because I think I got the Praline like a little closer in date, but the other 2 I'm just going to buy new ones of these guys. I don't know if I'm gonna go through all of my stuff again, because then maybe I'll just come back and do like a updated makeup collection video. I don't know yet. We'll decide that later on. So I have this drawer. It just has like miscellaneous stuff in it. So the stuff that I'm not keeping, I'm going to pull out of it and I'm going to chuck it. I have this NARS Laguna bronzer. I hit pan on this quite a while ago. So this I'm going to chuck because I have one that I never opened. So now I can just have a fresh one handy. I love the packaging of NARS, but like, look how dirty one can get compared to like a brand new one. And this one, like I said, it's brand new. I still have like the little sticker and stuff. So I got a brand new one of those. I'm going to put that to the side. I have this bronzer from Wet n Wild that I just have not reached for in a while, and this is in the shade Queensland. This I'm not going to hang on to. I have this Naked Urban Decay Flushed Palette, and I probably use this. Oh snap. I took a mini break and I completely forgot to mute the TV, so my bad. I have the Urban Decay Naked Flush Palette. I use this like once ever, so this gotta go. I don't know who I thought this was matching, because it don't match me. I have this brand new Park Ave Princess waterproof bronzer. This is the matte one. I've never used this, and I think the reason why I didn't use it yet, because it's like too cool toned of a shade for me. I'm pretty sure the reason why I never used this Tarte bronzer was because it just was never going to work for my like skin tone. So since this is like unopened, I actually might give this away in a giveaway. I haven't had it that long. But yeah, it's brand new, so I will give this away. If you are interested in this Park Ave Princess bronzer, please hit me up and you can have it. So next I'm gonna go through, this is basically like bronzers, maybe a couple blushes. I don't think there's any setting powders in here. I think this is more like highlights, bronzers. This is just a nice little jumble of things in here that we're gonna go through. I'm gonna put aside the stuff that I am keeping, and then I'm gonna put the ones that I'm not keeping into this other bin. So I took yet another break because it was much needed, and plus I had to feed the baby and everything, so I took another break. And basically now what I'm going to show you guys is all of the blushes, bronzers, and I think also highlights that I plan on not keeping. I feel like we got quite a few things that we're not keeping. We have the NARS here. I have a palette from Mally. Mally doesn't even exist anymore. That Naked palette I showed you guys, Clinique, Benefit, Urban Decay, Maybelline. This, if you follow Aaliyah J, she used to love this. This is the Molten Gold from Maybelline, but like my packaging is broken. The palette keeps cracking, so this has to go. I feel like this Rimmel bronzer is up there with the OGs, like the NYC bronzer. I got rid of that a while ago. This is an old Tarte primer. These Tarte blushes came in like a holiday gift set forever ago, so those have to go. This Dermablend has to go. NYX bronzer gotta go. This is a Fiona Styles blush. This blush is super pretty, but I don't reach for it. I don't need it. These are 3 blushes from Wet n Wild that I used to literally live by. These 2 are actually the same color, but if you look, they've like kind of oxidated, so they're not even the same color anymore. Too Faced bronzer, Becca. This is Opal, I believe, but I hit pan on it, so it has to go. Elf highlighter, Clinique, another Benefit highlighter that I don't use. This is a Lancome like face palette I don't use anymore. This is a Milani highlighter. This Queen by CoverGirl, I used to use this as a bronzer a long time ago. You guys can see by like the shade, I used to use that as a bronzer. It's such a pretty color, but I just don't reach for it anymore. These 2 highlighters, if you guys follow Kathleen Lights, she used to rave about Precious Petals. She loved this one. This is a little bit too pink on me, but I did really love the Golden Flower Crown. That one was a really good one. So this is what I'm getting rid of as far as like highlights, bronzers, blushes. These all have to go. I haven't touched them in such a long time, or like they're expired or something, so we're getting rid of these guys. So next I think I'm going to do foundations. Okay, so do not mind baby girl in the background. She is literally chatting. I have a couple of things here that are either empties or just items that I just don't reach for anymore. So first I have this NYX Bear With Me 8-hour like setting primer mist spray. Mario Badescu, that's at the bottom. This is the Coconut Fix Plus. This Morphe, I just bought a new one. This doesn't really have anything left in it. This Smashbox Primerizer, I have not reached for this in forever. That has to go. This MAC Studio Fix Fluid has to go. This Clinique Even Better foundation I have not used. I used this the other day in a vlog and I don't think I truly like this anymore, so that has to go. And I have another shade that I already threw away. It was W4.5. This is neutral of the Even Better, or the Even Better Refresh foundation. It's Wet n Wild foundation. I used to swear by it and I love this foundation, but I've just had this one in particular for too long, so I just need to get a new one of this. The shade Golden Beige is my jam. I really love this foundation. I actually forgot about this foundation, so I can't wait to pick up a new one. I have the Holy Grail Throwback, the Matte and Poreless by Maybelline 220. I have this Tarte Maracuja oil. This just has to go as well. I haven't used this in forever. I used to really like this oil, and then I realized that it was way too heavy on the skin for me. Some people swear by this. I don't really love it anymore. I have this in the shade Dark Brown. I do not use a pomade anymore. I barely even fill in my brows as is, so that guy has to go. I have a couple mascaras in here that I no longer use. What is this called? Like the Seals Booster from Lancome. This little mini is dried out. This little Lancome mini is really clumpy. I don't use it. And the Anastasia, I really did like this mascara. I love the brush on it. It's literally the same brush as the Better Than Sex. So if you like that mascara, then you would also like the Anastasia one. I'm also getting rid of these concealers. The e.l.f. Camo Concealer, I love the hydrating one. The matte one I'm not a fan of. This CoverGirl True Blend, I haven't reached for it in forever. This one right here is the Flower Beauty Concealer, which I also just am not a fan of anymore. And then I also have the Tarte Shape Tape. This one is just like a little bit dried out, so I should probably just get a new one. I have a Maybelline brow pencil and then also an Anastasia brow pencil that I no longer use either of these. The brow pencil that I tend to reach for the most is the one from Morphe, and I really like that one. It's pretty creamy. I don't mind it, and wow, that just broke, so that's going in the garbage. I have this little mini master primer from Maybelline. I used it like once or twice, and I had the big one. I still never used it. This brow conditioner from Benefit, I used it all up. This chubby stick from Clinique, I don't really use this anymore either. Gotta go. Oh, and then one last thing from this bin is this Too Faced eyeliner. I'm not a fan anymore. Okay guys, and then I went through a bunch of like eyeliners, lip liners that I just don't use anymore, or that they're broken, or I just know they're expired, or I never opened, or I just know they're super old and they just have to go. So I've got a MAC one in there, some LA Color, there's ColourPop in there, there's a Too Faced in there, Maybelline, NYX, Julep. There's just a couple that I cannot hang on to. So that was it pretty much for the declutter. I think I'm going to do a part 2 or something and show you guys how I organize everything that I actually kept. Alright guys, so that is all I have for you guys in today's video. Hopefully I didn't miss any makeup. I think I gathered majority of the stuff that I know that I have, unless I have something elsewhere, which I don't think I do. But that was basically my decluttering. I want to show you guys basically like my makeup collection after the fact that I've decluttered now, which is still excessive. I still feel like I still have a bunch of stuff that I probably will not be reaching for, but that is okay. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Halfway through the video I felt like I was like doing too much. I was just like, you're giving them a haul of like what you're keeping and what you're not keeping, and the point of this video was to declutter and show you guys what I wasn't keeping. So hopefully you guys still like this video. Give me a thumbs up if you guys want to see part 2 of this video, so I can show you guys what I actually kept and like my updated makeup collection, if you will. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate your love always. Bye guys.